Hello everyone. How is everyone doing? We're officially live today for another live stream. We have a lot of stuff going on in the crypto space here. As per usual, we always like to give a little bit of time for people to join. So just stay patient 2 or 3 minutes and we'll get started here shortly. Look at this amazing pump that we're seeing right now in crypto. This is exactly what I predicted. $1,700 ETH, around $24,000 Bitcoin. It's all going to plan, which is amazing. And now, even more interestingly, we're potentially seeing what is looking like a potential return to some type of bull market. So this is pretty big news, and like I said, right, really just the beginning here of what we're kind of expecting to see in the longer term as well, moving forward. But right now we have substantial price action on many coins, especially altcoins. You'll notice that Ethereum is up 13%. We've got some of these smaller altcoins up even more than that, right? Things like Ethereum Classic that are absolutely mooning up a massive 42% just in the last 24 hours alone. And if we look in the last 7 days, we're up 71%, right? This is due to the Ethereum merge happening. So money is sort of rolling back into proof of work coins in part. Of course, there's many proof of stake coins that are still doing well, but right now we're really starting to see the success of some of these older forks, if you'll call them like that, older proof of work coins. I've got Uniswap still being a heavy outperformer. I predicted Uniswap reaching $9 to $10 in one of my previous videos that I just made, and also in the live stream. So if you've been watching, you know that I called that way before this pump of 34%. And by the way, if you're enjoying this live stream, you just joined, we're now already at 12 viewers. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I also want to see your comments, so please let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the current crypto market and where you all see this going. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm reading all the comments as per usual, so please don't hesitate. If you want to let me know anything about the market, your thoughts, or you want me to cover a specific coin and analyze it, please, your opportunity is now. And at any time during the stream, just leave a comment. Also make sure to like and subscribe as we're moving forward here, slowly covering the analysis, still giving a little bit of time for people to join. We're already at 18 live viewers. That's amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support. We've got Bitcoin Cash now breaking above $150. This is also one of the strong outperformers here, up a lot in the last 24 hours, and in the last 7 days it's up over 25%. So do have to point that out as well. We've got ApeCoin starting to turn back up. It's going to be interesting to see how NFT slash gaming related crypto and crypto projects perform. We're seeing things like ApeCoin now turn back to the upside. I haven't checked the NFT market yet specifically, but as we see Ethereum starting to pump back up higher again, my prediction is that we're going to see NFTs start to skyrocket, and of course anything that's NFT slash gaming metaverse related is going to skyrocket as well, right? So we've got Sandbox also and Decentraland doing well in the last 24 hours. Just going through the top 100 here. We have Aave still being a strong outperformer. I do own a little bit of Aave now. I got that really low on the dip, around $72, I believe. I've got Lido. This is a liquid staking platform doing very good. This is one of the top outperformers as well, up 56% in the last 7 days. And after that, not too much to point out. We do have Celsius Network, however, really, making what I would call a full recovery. I mean, I don't know if that's maybe overly optimistic in terms of the price action. We are still down a lot from the all-time high of $8, of course, but considering that we were literally at like 35 cents, I believe, at the peak drop here, if this loads, let's see. Yeah, so at the peak drop, we were below 30 cents actually, and now we're all the way back to $1.35. So huge increase, right? That's over a 7x right there for Celsius from the bottom. So it makes it one of the strongest outperformers, actually, funny enough, from the current bottom that we put in. Curve starting to turn back up. Anything that's Ethereum ecosystem related is going to be strongly outperforming. And finally here, let's go ahead and start off our analysis with Bitcoin. So make sure to hit that like button. I'm also going to go ahead and share the live stream with my followers on Twitter here. So give me just a second while I go ahead and do this to give everyone a chance to join our live stream. And also, if you want to support the stream by dropping a super chat, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm doing this full time. I was just on a little vacation here, but if you want to support the channel, make sure that I see any of your comments. Make sure to drop a super chat. I would greatly appreciate that. And other than that, let me just take a quick look before we hop into the Bitcoin chart, which, by the way, it's looking absolutely great here. We're going to go on a cleaner chart for y'all, but right now what I'm seeing is, you know, everything that you want to be seeing. I mean, we're basically making an attempt to break out of the downtrend. We also have other, I'll go over to the daily time frame here. We also have other bullish signs starting to happen. We just crossed back over the orange 50-day moving average, which I long time said was going to happen. And guess what, right? It was just a matter of time, but now we're fully building up an uptrend on the RSI. Our uptrend on the RSI is actually stronger than our uptrend on the actual price chart. What does this mean? This means that we're actually seeing a bullish divergence here, right? If we look at the uptrend line for the price, we do have a little uptrend starting to form, but it's much steeper, as you can see, right, on the RSI chart than over here, right? You can see this pretty easily. Just compare the steepness of these two lines. This one is moving up much more quickly, and that's actually a bullish divergence, right? That's a sign of a breakout. That's everything we want to see. As far as the indicators for Bitcoin specifically, I mean, we're looking bullish on many indicators here. We've got the RSI the MACD histogram fully turning green and sustaining that green momentum, very similar to what we're seeing here on the RSI. We have a full-blown uptrend on the MACD. Doesn't look like it's ready to stop anytime soon. So right now we are basically in pump mode, right? Hence the title of this video. And if we look more closely at what's happening here in the last few days specifically, we basically, you know, we put in a consolidation, and now I'd say we're basically starting the breakout, right? If we look back here, I'll draw this yellow line, horizontal support level. This was previously resistance, right? We were having trouble getting above this right here and right here, but even this attempt didn't hold, right? But now we fully broke above it. And this time we have a massive green bullish candlestick. So this is making me very optimistic. We are also seeing some volume come back in. And now I think our next stop, right, is going to be the blue line over here. This is the 100-day moving average. Once again, this has been our target. So we have a little bit of support before that at around 26,600, right? This is the low of this candlestick right here. However, more importantly, I think that we are really making a run for at least, okay, at least bare minimum target here is going to be this blue line of 27,500 basically, right? And like I said, this could just be the short-term pump target. As far as what happens next, well, we'll have to see how we play out in this triangle over here, right? And who knows, this is crypto. Could we just break out of the triangle? Absolutely. Could we fall back in the triangle? Absolutely. So a lot of stuff could happen at this point. What was for sure is that my prediction is playing out properly here. And do I think 24,000 is the peak of the pump? Absolutely not, right? I mean, 24,000 was my absolute lowest price target in terms of a bounce. And, you know, it wasn't my main price target, right? My main price target is much more around 27 to 28,000. What does that coincide with? Well, that coincides with this purple downtrend line up here, right? So keep in mind, this has been massive downtrend resistance for a while here. So you'll see that we made several attempts at getting back above this, right? None of them held. And now it looks like we are going to make what is really going to be, you know, another attempt, maybe our fifth attempt here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say 5 or 6th attempt for the purple downtrend line over here, which has been, like I said, our main resistance level that has been pushing Bitcoin down, and hence most of the rest of the crypto market. And for that reason, right, it's really key to see how we act if first off we hit this level, which is absolutely possible, right? That would be around 28,500 or so, give or take, right? Could even be a little bit higher towards 30,000, 29,000. So approximately those upper $20,000 levels are going to be the resistance point. And at that point, we're going to see, do we have the opportunity to spike above that, or are we going to come back in consolidation? If we come back in consolidation, which would not be surprising, and we move up and down in the triangle pattern, in the symmetrical triangle pattern, which is basically what's forming over here, right? And keep in mind, the end of this triangle pattern is going to be towards the end of September. So not that far out, right? But we've still got about 2 months out from there. So, you know, we could see a lot of up and down consolidation. With that being said, okay, if we start breaking above this, just as this blue line, this 100-day moving average, is acting as a sort of magnet to the price that I think we're going to reach, right? Very easily, when we're in the upper $28,000 area, we could very quickly see a magnet effect start happening and an attempt at this 200-day moving average right here. Okay, and this is just for Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at altcoins later in this video, but just to show you, right, even Bitcoin, which has been, let's say, a slow mover, still very strong throughout the bear market, in my personal opinion, to give credit where credit's due. We do need to remember that Bitcoin itself is still performing quite strongly. And, you know, as far as, you know, its pullback was much smaller than most coins out there, for one. And second of all, we do also need to keep in mind that any of the altcoins will be outperforming or mimicking at the very least, but really outperforming in the case of Ethereum. I believe that Ethereum is just going to outperform heavily Bitcoin in the next bull market, right? And that's just purely based off NFTs, metaverse, etc. Some might call it a greater use case. It depends if you agree with that or not. I am very bullish on Bitcoin though, so don't get me twisted. You know, I think that Bitcoin is going to be breaking $100,000 pretty soon. I'm expecting potentially middle of 2023 we could be at or very close to $100,000 for the Bitcoin price. You know, moving towards the end of 2023, we could really be at over $150,000 for Bitcoin, right? So that's, you know, at least a 4x there that I'm seeing. And very quickly here, if things turn back into bullish momentum, which, like I said, right, I can't make the call just yet that we're out of the bear market. For that to happen, we would need to at least break above the purple moving average here, sorry, the purple downtrend line for Bitcoin. And really what we'll want to see is a recovery back above the 200-day moving average, the red moving average, which is one of our most important levels. And not just to move above it, but a clear flattening of the 200-day moving average, and then also it moving back to the upside, and the price, right, being above that 200-day moving average. So that's what we would want to see to really confirm a strong enough, you know, recovery to the upside to, you know, call it out of the bear market and into the bull market fully. However, right, as we're moving forward here, we do have a chance at that, right? So of course, while we were crashing back here, right, there was no opportunity for that to happen. Now things are a little bit different, right? We put in a bit of consolidation. We're even now moving higher, and now we have an opportunity to potentially exit that bear market. Doesn't mean that we are going to exit the bear market, but we have the opportunity. And we also are going to be looking very closely at, you know, when we get that bullish breakout really above the 200 moving average, etc., right? That's going to mean that we're back in the bull market. That could be huge gains ahead, like I talked about, right? At least a 4x for Bitcoin alone. So if we look at the crypto market cap, we are at $1.14 trillion, which I just want all the regular viewers to drop a comment section down below. You know that I predicted that we're going back above the $1 trillion market cap in the next month. That's what I said about a month ago, and that's exactly what happened, right? 9.5% globally as far as upside in the last 24 hours for cryptos in general. So a lot of money coming back in, right? I just want you to think about that. You know, you look at some of these coins, you don't really realize the scale of it, right? What you really need to realize is this right here, okay? This is the type of stuff that could indicate us returning into a bull market. We're talking about a 10% increase in the global cryptocurrency market cap, right? So that's $100 billion basically coming into crypto in the last 24 hours alone, right? That is absolutely enormous. That's comparable to as Apple, you know, basically gained 10% in a day. That would be really big, right? So that's what's happening in crypto. That just shows you how quickly money flows both in and out of crypto. In this case, it's intra crypto, and that makes us very bullish for bull markets, how quickly they can happen, right? That's why a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, we can still fall down to $10,000 Bitcoin, etc. And absolutely, right? I still believe that we can fall back down to 10,000, even lower, right? Even more towards 6,000. The thing that you need to realize is just as easily as we can fall back down, right? The reason why I started dollar cost averaging, I did not buy any Bitcoin actually in the last month, but the reason why in the last month I bought many altcoins such as SushiSwap, and many other altcoins out there like Aave, etc. The reason why is because I didn't want to risk missing out on a pump, right? Since we're at already such discounted levels, and guess what happened, right? The pump is now starting to happen, and this could just continue to increase pretty much, right? So right now for Bitcoin alone, you're 34% off the bottom basically, right? And this is just for Bitcoin. Like I said, hasn't been the strongest mover. Now it's been very steady and very consistent, but it hasn't been the strongest in terms of pure capital appreciation. If we move over to the altcoins next, you're going to see just how much altcoins have pumped, right? Many altcoins are now 100% plus off their bottom, so double. Okay, and we'll take a second to read all your comments. I haven't been able to keep up here. Thank you all for the great support. Like I said, if you want to make sure that I see one of your comments, consider dropping a super chat to support the stream. We've got Mexican Charlie Lee, who says, what are your thoughts on LTC? You think it can hold all-time high, or sorry, hit old all-time high $420 this year or early next year in pre-halving? I personally think yes. I haven't been the biggest fan of Litecoin compared to some of its competing proof of work coins. You know, at that point, I think right now Ethereum Classic and even Bitcoin Cash are better placed bets than Litecoin, and that can be seen even by their price appreciation in the last 7 days, right? We have 71% for Bitcoin Cash, 26% for Bitcoin Cash, 71% for Ethereum Classic, and Litecoin barely above 10%, right? So that is a little bit of an issue when you're seeing that underperformance from Litecoin. From that being said, it's not performing bad, and overall, right, I think that Litecoin will be moving above $500. So I still think Litecoin itself as an altcoin is going to be repeating its old patterns, right? And this it could really move above $500 as well. So in that sense, you know, I don't think that we're in a bad position with Litecoin. In fact, you know, we're still at very low prices. So in that sense, I actually quite like Litecoin, and yes, I do think it'll be hitting its old all-time highs. You know, it's hard to put the time frame. That all depends on how Bitcoin moves, but would it be reasonable, you know, middle of next year for it to be hitting its previous all-time highs? I think there's a decent chance for that, yes. We have XMR, been on green candles a while. XMR BTC thoughts. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Monero has been doing. I don't know if he's asking about the Monero BTC chart, but we can go ahead and take a look at that. It's going to be interesting to see how these proof of work privacy coins perform here. We've got a very nice little rounding formation starting to show up here on the Monero chart. Keep in mind, we had a rounding formation back here. This one did not pan out, right? We failed that breakout and fell back lower. However, this is re-happening here, and I think this time it might hold. So I do like Monero overall. I think this is a very good privacy coin play, one of the safer ones, of course. We've got Kev saying 24K broken. He's referring to Bitcoin breaking above 24K. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. As far as this current candle right now, yes, indeed, we did break slightly above $24,000 on this current candlestick. That's big deal. Now, of course, right, we're still a little bit below that previous high that we put in here just a few days ago at 24,286. With that being said, seeing the strength of these candles, I think that we're easily in the next few days, basically in the next week or two, right, we're going to be making it a run for minimum, I think, $28,000, and really we could even be seeing a test of $30,000 in the next 2 weeks. But really, main target is still going to be that 100-day moving average at $28,000 for Bitcoin. We have Tizu saying, do you think that the macros are all pointing down? Stocks and cryptos are all going up. Inflation is still increasing, yet people are still spending because the Fed is lying. Doesn't it all sound like a dump could be coming? Not trying to be bearish, but it doesn't make sense. None of the macros are healthy. He doesn't understand why BTC and stocks are doing so well. And then we've got Kev saying it's because market overreacted, oversold. So I think there's truth in both those comments, right? You could be wondering, why is, crypto and stocks, if we go ahead and look at stocks, we're pumping right now on the day, doing very well here, and stocks have been holding up pretty well. And of course, we saw what happened to crypto, right? I can pull up the heat map here, looking absolutely amazing across the board. Deep green across altcoins. You can see that with Ethereum. If we move over the last 7 days, take a bigger picture, we're still going to be very green here. And, to answer this comment here, what I want to say is, yes, we do have concerning signs regarding the economy, right? The Fed is hiking rates non-stop. These are huge rate hikes as well, 0.75%. This is a big deal, right? This heavily affects the entire economy. Now, what I want to say is, right, there's different ways people can look at this, right? Some people look at this and think, oh, the US dollar is going to be strong, everything else should drop, right? Meaning stocks and cryptos, for example. You could also look at this as, oh, the Fed is making a last-ditch attempt at trying to save the US economy. They're going to fail, right? Because despite their rate hikes, look at what's happening to cryptos, right? They're skyrocketing. So this is not what's supposed to be happening now. Could a dump be coming? Absolutely, right? So still be careful for that. Still be careful for that flip back lower. I'd say right now our levels are pretty clear, right? If we move back below $19,000, we're going to be flipping back lower towards 15,000 and below. However, right now that's not the case. Right now we're breaking out and we're getting the confirmation of the short-term bounce. So that's how you need to look at these things, because yes, you can make your opinions on what this means, but you also need to be looking at how the market is digesting it and applying the news in real time. Okay, just to go over some news pieces, we have Ethereum massive short liquidations, right? So $200 million in shorts liquidated after the Fed meeting. This has to do with Ethereum now seeing a lot of longs come in, and hence the shorts getting liquidated. This is the opposite of what was happening a few weeks ago, where for both on Bitcoin and Ethereum, we were seeing longs getting massively liquidated. Now, guess what? We're seeing shorts being massively liquidated. What does that mean, right? That means that we're seeing the short squeeze come into play, right? And of course, that's very, very bullish for us right now. So, we're seeing also more in the fundamentals, right? In the mechanics of how this is doing. Yes, we are, currently seeing a massive short squeeze. This is even more drastic for coins like Ethereum Classic, right? Where the short squeeze is even more aggressive, right? So, potentially even more people trying to short this, or at least not buying this. And then when the bullish momentum comes back into play, look at what you get, right? You get a 50% jump in the last 24 hours, basically, and last 7 days is 71%, absolutely skyrocketing, mooning here for Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic, I am by the way, still very bullish on it. I do think this could go to $500 to $1,000 in the next bull market. And it's not even stopping. I mean, this is probably not even going to pull back till it hits $45 to $50 here. So this is still full blown breakout mode, in my opinion. We have a lot more comments here. Believer777 saying hit the likes. Thank you so much for the support. Yes, please hit the like button, share the stream with any of your friends. I greatly appreciate any of your support. Make sure to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications to never miss the best crypto live streams on YouTube. And of course, if you want to support the stream even more, I would greatly appreciate a super chat. And guess what? Right now, live as we are streaming, we're seeing Bitcoin break above $24,000. This is big news. Not surprising, right? What did I say? I said that we're basically, you know, fully in the breakout. If we look even in the last few hours, guess what's happening, right? We got a little relief pullback and now a very sharp, basically V-shaped recovery towards the upside. This is probably going to break out even more in a matter of minutes. Okay, so by the end of the live stream, I wouldn't be surprised to see us at bare minimum at 24,200, if not at 24,500 and above. We're still very much breaking out on the RSI. We're above the 70 line, which of course is technically overbought, but we are in a breakout, so that's not really worrisome. This is actually more bullish than anything else. Here on the 15-minute chart, we've got a lot of interesting stuff going on. We're starting to see very strong buying volume come into play here, right? And so I'm marking these out so you can see here. Over here it's a bit small, but this is the volume indicator, and you can see right back here, huge amount of buying volume. We saw it here on the move higher, and then now, right, huge buying volume all throughout this area right here as we're seeing the V-shaped recovery play out. And you know, this, I'm talking ultra short term here, so really this is just a continuation overall of the breakout. Okay, and right now we're seeing the kind of propulsive waves of, you know, we're getting the bits of consolidation and then the big skyrocketing candlesticks. You know, could we see a little consolidation here? It's possible, but overall expect more, you know, impulse waves, impulse candles, because if we draw out the Elliott wave pattern, right, which is really what's happening here, you can see, you know, I'm never too good at drawing Elliott waves, but approximately here, you know, we've still got a ways to go on this 15-minute chart at least, and we just finished a pullback pattern here. So this is playing out, you know, picture perfect as far as the technicals are concerned, and makes me very bullish for the next few hours, to be honest. We'll go over to the hourly time frame, see what's going on here. Let me clean up what I just drew, even though it's nice to see those indicators, but you got to see it drawn out there. Right now, right, still making attempt for breaking above that previous little high over here. So this is a nice chart on the 1 hour time frame, really giving us a good perspective of what's going on, right? And I can go ahead and point out the next big resistance level. That's 25,500. Could see a little bit of a pullback, but like I said, not that worried, right? Because we're still in this pattern of reaching those previous moving average and reaching some of those previous resistance levels, and until that's done, I don't see a pullback happening, right? Especially not right now with the amount of strength we have in Bitcoin. Let me go ahead and also slip over to Ethereum. We always cover Ethereum in these videos, and I won't miss out this time either. So let's see what's happening with, of course, you know, the biggest altcoin out there, technically speaking. It is now above 97% upside from its previous bottom here that we put in during this pullback. So literally almost 100% move higher. Could this be the top of the pump? You know, some people might say yes. I think not necessarily, right? We could still go into, now granted, let me be clear here. Ethereum pumped a lot more and it reached its my initial target for it, which was $1,700. So compared to Bitcoin, there's a difference, right? Bitcoin didn't reach its 28K level yet. Ethereum did reach $1,700. With that being said, like I said in my videos, right, in these live streams, there's move for much more upside left, right? We could be heading towards $2,000 flat and even $2,200 before really being worried about more risks of a flip back lower, right? And why is that such a big deal? Well, first off, that's a 150% move from the bottom. More importantly, right, we could be seeing, you know, Bitcoin reaching 28K, but Ethereum reaching $2,000, even $2,200. So that is a potentially difference in how altcoins are going to play out. And like I said, right, as we reach those higher levels for Bitcoin and Ethereum here specifically, right, meaning as we reach not just our initial price targets of maybe $1,500, $1,700, but more towards 2,000, 2,200, right, that could be comparable to Bitcoin's 28K to 32K area, which I'll go ahead and pull up my old chart to show you what I'm talking about here, because this is a big deal. And this is actually very, very bullish as well. So let me go ahead and pull up a chart that I had previously drawn on, if I can find it. This will be clean enough to show you what I'm talking about, but I need to put in a little level here. So basically, right, as I put in these yellow horizontal support levels that you're seeing right here, this corresponds to 28 to 32K. Initial target 24K, that was the bare minimum. Now we're looking at the 28K level, right? That's up here. So still got a little bit of ways to go, but not that far off, right? Should be pretty easy overall. All we need is basically less than a 20% pump, call it a 15% pump, and we're already there for Bitcoin. Very, very doable for crypto. Now, with that being said, okay, if we reach that 28K level, which I think is pretty likely at this point, right, I would call it near guaranteed for Bitcoin, we could break above that, right? And that's basically what we're seeing happen live with Ethereum, where we reach that initial kind of main upside target level for a bounce, right? $1,700 for ETH. But guess what's happening? If I zoom in here now, of course, this is very fresh since the breakout is really happening, especially in the last few hours here. But look at what's happening, right? We are above 1,700 and we're kind of finding support on that level. So that is a big deal. And if I now compare it back to Bitcoin, right? So you really get what I'm trying to focus in on here. So we're moving back to Bitcoin. If we peak out above the 28K level, right, and let's say we even go higher, we might go to 30K, we might even go all the way up to 31, 32K, okay? If we reach those higher levels, right, and then we're range bound up here instead of maybe between 24 and 28K, right, the higher we are, right, the higher we're consolidating, the much more bullish it is to then continue a bull market to the upside. In contrast with, if we're consolidating in this lower area right here, right, we could see that breakdown happen more easily. So that is important, right? And the reason for that is because it's much more harder once we've seen such a big move to the upside to then fall all the way back down, right, to 15K potentially, than if we don't get as much of a move higher and then we start falling back down, right? So that's sort of how I'm seeing that play out. And like I said, right, this is a direct copy of what's happening with Ethereum. The only difference is Ethereum is stronger, right? So like I said, a lot of these altcoins are heavily outperforming Bitcoin. Ethereum is literally outperforming Bitcoin 3-to-1, right? It's up around 95%, right? Let's call it 100%. Bitcoin is up about 35%, right? So we're almost at a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of the upside for Bitcoin versus Ethereum. That's a really, really big deal. And, you know, these are, of course, on the bigger coins, but we're expecting a lot of this to be seen as well, right? Replicated on the smaller coins as well. And then eventually, you know, Bitcoin will also be performing very, very strongly. And actually, you know, really it still is performing very well here, right? Because it dropped much less than other coins. So a lot of the altcoins are recovering their losses. Bitcoin didn't have as much losses to begin with. I want to go over and cover some of the stronger altcoins out there, just to show you just how much power we're seeing in some of those smaller altcoins, right? So good example here, Uniswap. You can see my previous drawings here from about a week ago. If we look at the actual performance, look at that. You know, I said 35% move towards the upside for Bitcoin, about 95% for Ethereum. And now the Ethereum ecosystem related coins, right? Things like Uniswap, things like Aave. Well, look at what's happening with Uniswap, right? We're at 170% gain to the upside from the all-time high, right? So this is why I'm saying, you know, are we really going to flip back lower again, right? This really gives me the impression that we are maybe at a full bottom, right? You know, even back here, we did not go as high as that, right? We did 112% bounce from the bottom, not 150 plus. So there are signs, especially amongst altcoins, especially amongst the better altcoins, Ethereum related altcoins, that the bottom is in, right? And we could be seeing, you know, yes, pullbacks here and there, but a move back to the all-time highs. This could be the first signs of that. We'll see how this plays out. You know, maybe we'll see more consolidation at the bottom, but there are signs, right? We're getting our initial signs of a full-blown return to the bull market, potentially, right? Especially amongst altcoins. I think altcoins will actually perform quite strongly here. In fact, Ethereum, compared to Ethereum, Uniswap is already above its 200-day moving average, right? Keep in mind, these altcoins may also be predicting what's going to happen with Ethereum and hence with Bitcoin. So, like I said, right, it's already tested its 100-day moving average, right? It now broke above that, and even, you know, 200-day moving average acting as a magnet, it's even above that, right? So doesn't get much better than that. Yes, we're at a point where we could start to see a little bit of a move lower, but overall, right, we're seeing what is looking like a very soon crossing of the 50-day moving average above the 100-day moving average. Basically golden crossover there, and huge buying volume, and all the signs you want to see. Let's go ahead and take a look at Matic, also being one of the strongest outperformers out there. Thankfully, one of the coins that I did load up on the dip. Not that much, a few $100, but still got exposure to that, which is why I didn't wait, right? If I had waited, guess what? I would have missed out on 200% gain. Okay, so keep in mind what's happening here, right? The people who are waiting, being too slow to either dollar cost average or get into the crypto market, are missing out on this, right? So I'm not saying to rush back in. I'm not saying to buy right this second, right? Never do I give financial advice. None of this is financial advice, but you need to look at the charts and realize, you know, when we're getting the 200% bounce from the bottom, these are things that are typically signs of, you know, pretty much a recovery from the bottom, right? It really feels hard for me to believe that we're going to go back below 30 cents right now for Matic. I just don't really see that happening, right? To be quite honest, I don't really even seeing us move back in this range over here. Okay, that's between 50 cents and 75 cents. Got a huge bounce off the 75 cent support level with a nice bottom wick, and now guess what, right? Looks like we're going to break above this resistance here at $1 and make our first move above $1 in a while, you know, targeting $1.20 here, 200-day moving average. So it hasn't tested it yet. For Matic, Uniswap, it did, like I said, right? It looks like a lot of these Ethereum related altcoins are indeed going to be hitting their 200-day moving average if they haven't already. Okay, so let me see here if there's any other interesting little coins. I'll cover Aave, and then we should cover probably Ethereum Classic as well. Please let me know down in the comment section below if you want me to cover any specific coins, if you have anything specific you want me to look at, answer any of your questions. That's what it's meant for. If you want to make sure I see your comment or just support the channel in general, please drop a super chat. Let me see what everybody is saying here. We've got some people talking about, I'm not sure which coin. I think Harvest Farm, Harvest Finance. Don't know too much about that. As far as Aave here, let's see how much it's up from the bottom. We have a move of 120%. That's very respectable for one of the bigger altcoins over there. In fact, if we go over to the total value locked as far as DeFi is concerned, first off, Aave #1 protocol right now for Ethereum. Okay, this is probably even going to continue as a lot of people take on leverage to play the bounce. A lot of money coming back now into DeFi. Okay, so it was really being slow and taking a while. It was dragging on to get, you know, substantial gains in terms of the TVL, right? Total value locked is billions of dollars. We were at around 88 on the peak dip, and now guess what, right? We're above $100 billion in total value locked for layer 2 protocols in general, okay, staking protocols. Ethereum specifically, right, up 10% in terms of TVL in the last 24 hours alone. So this is a big deal, right? And this is also showing why we're seeing the money come back into the coin itself, right? Because as the use case, as the DeFi factors come into play, we're going to see that more and more, right? Let's quickly swap through some of the other coins out there. We got 7% bounce in terms of TVL in the last 24 hours for the BSC, Tron 4%, Avalanche 5%, Solana a respectable 6.5%. Ooh, this is interesting. So I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but it looks like we saw a drop in TVL for Polygon. Not sure what that's about, but it did actually get a pretty big pump here though, so maybe that's just a little pullback. Overall, right, quite a bit of steadiness in terms of money coming back into some of these layer 2 protocols, and of course Ethereum leading the charge, right? That's why you always see Ethereum outperform. People try to play some of these layer 2s, and of course there's great layer 2s in there, Avalanche, Solana, etc. But you need to keep in mind, right, Ethereum just has certain advantages that most other protocols just don't have, right? Sorry, not protocols, but actual coins. You know, it's on every exchange. People can put in money like this. It's got pretty much the best projects out there. Notice SushiSwap here up 32% in terms of TVL in the last month. Very big deal. And one of the coins that I now own, thankfully. So it did very, very good on that. Uniswap also doing very good, but you know, look at the difference, right? SushiSwap TVL, literally basically the same increase as Uniswap. You need to compare the sizes of these two protocols, right? There's a big difference. So a lot of money can still come into SushiSwap. Previously, it's been at much closer ratios in terms of the amount of money compared to Uniswap, right? So it's got a bit of a gap to close, and I think it will close that gap. We've got Hex doing insane 41% one month change, Lido 70% TVL change. Huge amounts of money coming back to these protocols, guys. I mean, you know, we do the math here. That's over $2 billion plus $2.5 billion plus for Lido in terms of money coming back into the protocol in the last month alone. These are big deals, right? Let's just go ahead and see the price action of Hex. I know a lot of you ask me what I think of Hex. So let's just go ahead and see what's happening. About up 6.3%. Not 100% sure in terms of the pump in the last month. We could go ahead and pull up the chart, but looking very good, right? Especially compared to its previous TVL levels and the current TVL gains that it's seeing. So not bad at all there. Let me go ahead and take a look. By the way, please let me know in the comments down below how long I've been streaming for. As far as the comments here, we've got Brandon C saying, "What's up? Smash that like button." Yes, please make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notifications. We're covering all the coins out there. We've been looking a lot at Bitcoin today, but also Ethereum and some of the altcoins. Basically seeing, you know, what is playing out, which is really a perfect panning out of what I've been calling in the last several live streams. So I'm glad I've been doing these. You've been seeing me make these calls in real time, which is amazing. And right now, Bitcoin, you know, playing with that 24K level, trying that breakout. Keep in mind, 24, 25, 25.5K. These are resistance levels, but not resistance levels that are unbreakable at all, right? In fact, these are what I would consider right now very, very weak resistance levels, right? So especially considering that we've got just a little bit above our current price level, literally only takes a 14% move to reach that 100-day moving average, something that can be very doable in terms of while we're seeing a breakout like this play out, right? We have Brandon C asking, what is Yearn to USD? He's talking about Yearn Finance. This is another, I was gonna say Ethereum based altcoin, but it's also very big on Phantom now, etc. Actually a coin that I like quite a bit. It's had a lot of drama though with its founder leaving the project, but Let's see how much it bounced from the bottom here, about 130% bounce. So it is actually holding up with some of the other stronger altcoins out there. We're also seeing a lot of buying volume come into play. It's actually right now breaking about above the 70 line on the RSI and tested that 100-day moving average. With that being said, you know, we are a very long way past or to move up to the 200-day moving average. So I think this is a coin that could see a bit of a pullback here. You know, I would expect at minimum 15% pullback, and at most probably a full 25% pullback here for Yearn. So I'd say because there's too big of a gap here between its 100-day and 200-day moving average, it's not ready to make that move just yet to the 200-day moving average. However, as we consolidate right in the next go around, I think we're going to see a very big breakout for Yearn Finance, right? This is actually a coin that could be well above $100,000 in market cap in the next few years, in the next decade or so. We have Brandon C saying looking for a massive pump in ASM to USD. This is, I'm not even sure which coin this is. I need to look this one up. Let's see what ASM is. Yeah, I am not even sure. It looks like it could be this Assemble protocol. I don't know this coin, so I'm not going to be able to give proper analysis there. With that being said, I just want to see how Bitcoin is playing out here. If we're going to see, like I said, that move past the 24,500 level. I'm on my super messy Bitcoin chart here. Make sure to hit that like button. You have my old messy likes there. With that being said, though, right about 45 minutes of live streaming time. Not much more to say. We're waiting to see what happens with the $24,000 level. Still keeping a heavy bullish bias now instead of the bearish bias. And with that being said, Brennan C is asking, was Wi-Fi, he's talking about Yearn Finance, really above 40K? Yes, it was. I still remember literally when it was trading right around 25 to 35K, and I think it's going back there actually on the next bull market. Could, like I said, even go up to and well above $100,000. With that being said, this is going to be the end of this live stream. Thank you so much for the great support. We've had such a steady amount of viewers this entire live stream. Hopefully got a lot of good info, a lot of good insights. As per usual, none of this is financial advice, so please be careful out there. We're seeing the volatility to both the upside. If you tried shorting this, you would have gotten wrecked. If you tried longing while we were dropping, you would have gotten wrecked. So be careful. The volatility is still there. The volatility is still real and dangerous, both to the upside and to the downside. With that being said, right, we're seeing the steadiness come back into play. We are beginning to slowly but surely uptrend again. Now we're going to see how is that uptrend going to fare as we head over towards our bigger, more serious support levels, right? Things like our 100, 200-day moving averages, and for Bitcoin, 28 to 32K. How is it going to perform in those areas? I'll, of course, be here to cover it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, and see you soon.